Hi, it's Vex, and today we have a Dominaria United Commander. I know Brothers War is already out, however, I don't know how I missed this one. il-Kor, Sadistic Pilgrim, is an Orzhov commander, and possibly my new Orzhov commander, competing with Athreos, if you've seen the video right here. il-Kor, Sadistic Pilgrim is a white-black legendary creature, Phyrexian Core Cleric, triple type, which is cool. Death Touch, which is also really cool. Don't forget about that because you can block a big dude. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. Whenever another creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life. So let's unpack that and see what we want to do with that. Basically, what we want to do is a gain and drain deck. This is actually one of the first commanders that does this. Gains life when something happens and causes a loss of life when something else happens. Sometimes, you gain 1 life and they lose a life all at the same round, but sometimes they do it separately. This one commander does it separately. So our deck is all about gain and drain. We usually gain when another creature ETBs. So what that means is that's taken into more of a tokens direction. So tokens, we're doing tokens here. And then when another creature you control, specifically you control, dies, each opponent loses 1 life. So we want to do a little bit of sacrificing. Deck wants to do those things. And then with all that gain, drain, sacrifice together, this is called Aristocrats, where you sack your own creatures, do some draining, bring them back, do some more draining, and slowly kill them by draining them to death by 1 life point each. So that's the basics of the deck. We want to do these things and win. And before we get into deck tech, don't forget, again, tokens. Have all of your tokens, because this deck requires a bunch of them, because we are making tokens, sacking them, and then draining the opponent for 1 life. This does say another creature. It doesn't say another non-token creature, so that's very important. Tokens do count in the triggered ability. I have my tokens here. You better have your tokens. I have the deck list in the description below if you want to check that out and follow along. Our first set of cards, including our commander, essentially 10 gain and drainers. Some gain, some drain, some gain and drain. So let's actually read some of these cards, or just quickly go over these cards. There's Blood Artist, the original one, the oldest one. Well, I guess Suture Priest is older, but the one that defines this kind of architecture that people have used a lot. Blood Artist, whenever Blood Artist or another creature dies, any creature, even your opponents, target player loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Zulaport Cutthroat, which they've upgraded, and I have Old War 1 for whatever reason I have, is a much better version. Same mana value or casting cost, 1 black, human rogue ally. When it or another creature you control, so that remembers you control, this is any creature, dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So it does a 3-point damage to them and 1 point gain to you. Cruel Celebrant. I'll go over these really quick. They're very similar, but they're kind of different. So if you have like 4 on the board plus your commander, il-Kor, it gets kind of tricky on how and when they trigger. Cruel Celebrant is when it or another creature or planeswalker, even though you have no planeswalkers, you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life, you gain 1 life. Then there's Corpse Knight. When another creature enters the battlefield under your opponent's control, opponent loses 1 life. So if you have these two, you gain 1 life, they lose 1 life. So it's kind of like a build your own drain. Suture Priest is slightly different from Elas. It's another creature, ETBs under your control, gain 1 life. ETBs under opponent's control, they lose a life. So again, you gotta keep track of these triggers. Marauding Blight Priest, actually, it has when you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life. We're not using Sanguine Bond in place of Marauding Blight Priest because this is a creature, and it does each opponent. Sanguine Bond only does 1 opponent. So this technically doesn't do anything by itself. You need one of these little guys to help you out gain life, but you have plenty of them, and your commander itself. Then you have non-creature versions, but I think they're very powerful. Bastion Remembrance. The cool part of this is actually comes with a creature. ETB's 1/1 human soldier. Then when a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So it's kind of like these 3 right here. The Meat Hook Massacre. It's insane because this actually makes creatures die because it's a board wipe on a stick, and it has the cool text. When ETBs, each creature gets -X until end turn. So you can put X as 0, play black. Have this enchantment, does nothing on ETB, or you pay 1, kill little creatures, pay 2, whatever. Remember, your creatures have very small toughness, but kill them all at once trigger them all at once as well too. So that could be a finishing blow. When a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, you gain 1 life. And then we have Relic Vial, which is, I think, it's an interesting card. Very underplayed. Costs 3 mana, so it's a 3 mana do nothing. Then you pay 2 tap, sack a creature, draw a card, which is really cool because you want a sack outlet. This is a good sack outlet. Then, as long as you control a cleric, this gets whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So same text as this. Our commander is a cleric. It's a il-Kor cleric. Elas il-Kor. This is a cleric. This is a cleric. You have other clerics in the deck to turn this thing on. So remember, this thing's very easy to turn on. Good sack outlet. We didn't have a lot of room here, but we're going to make some room for the other cool cards in this category. We have 3 cards. Grey Merchant of Asphodel. Right there. This is the ultimate, the epitome of gain and drain. Devotion to black. So this could be a finishing blow. We have Athreos. We are sacking creatures. Athreos is a god. 1 white black. Legendary enchantment creature god. Indestructible. Needs 7 devotion. Turn it on. Then when another creature you own dies, return to your hand unless target player pays 3 life. Now, they're usually always going to pay 3 life in the beginning because they have tons of life. But once you whittle them down, they're going to give you your cards back. You play your creature, sack it, and then trigger Athreos again. Get your creature back, sack it. You see how the loop goes. Then we have Teysa Karlov. Incredible in this deck. 2 white black. When a creature dying causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, which is all this stuff right here, that ability triggers an additional time. Double triggers. And wait, we didn't even finish. Teysa have more text. Creature tokens you control have vigilance and lifelink. Remember, we are having a bunch of tokens in this deck, so we got vigilance, lifelink, which is very important. Double triggers, double death triggers. So when something dies, each opponent loses 2 life. You gain 2 life. Very powerful. That's like an 8-point life swing. The next set of cards are the sacrifice outlets, or cards that can sacrifice themselves. That are creatures. We have more. We'll get to those, but we have more. We have the repeatable sacrifice outlets as Visir Seer and Yawgmoth. We have Flesh Taker, which is repeatable but costs 1 mana. And then this is cool too, is Flesh Taker is kind of like a half aristocrat. Whenever you sack another creature, you gain 1 life and scry 1, no matter how they sack it. So it's pretty neat. Visir Seer is, sack a creature, scry 1. Woe Strider is, I should just put this over here, is another. Actually, you know what? Let me rearrange all these repeatable sack outlets. Bam, there you go. That sounds better. Visir Seer is sack 1, sack a creature, scry 1. Woe Strider is sack a creature, scry 1. This is when a creature gets sacrificed or dies. Or no, when a creature gets sacrificed. Sorry. I read the cards, tells me what the card does. When you sacrifice another creature, which is own ability or with these abilities here, you can scry 1. This gets +2/+2 when you sack a creature, but that doesn't really matter if you sack a creature. Yawgmoth is the best. You can sacrifice, pay 1 life, sack another creature, put a -1/-1 counter up to 1 target creature, maybe killing it, maybe triggering Elas il-Kor, and then draw a card. Then lets you proliferate, protection from humans. Those are flavor text pieces. I don't really use those abilities. Use the mill ability the most. Next, we have Priest of Forgotten Gods, which is really cool. Sacrifice 2 other creatures. Any number of target players each lose 2 life. So it's a little bit of a drain. And sacrifice a creature, which can trigger your stuff again. See how synergistic this deck is. You add black and draw a card. So it's pretty neat. We have Selfless Spirit, Cathar Commando, and Dauthi Voidwalker. They sacrifice themselves to do an ability. This destroys our artifact enchantment, gives your creatures indestructible, safe from a board wipe. Sometimes. It depends. Sometimes you just want your stuff wiped because you want all the stuff to trigger. Dauthi Voidwalker. You can sack it to cast a spell that goes into the void with the Voidwalker. Very good graveyard hate. If you don't have Dauthi Voidwalker and don't know what it does, I implore you to put this in your deck. Buy one. They're not that expensive. Modern Horizons 2 is really heavily printed. Buy this. Buy 10. Buy 20. Just put them in all your decks. Insanely good card. We have the non-creature sack outlet. We talked about Relic Vial. It is an aristocrat and sack outlet, which is really good. We have Diabolic Intent, sack creature tutor. So love the synergies here. We can always sack. Don't be afraid to sack one of your aristocrat guys or anything because they all trigger off each other. There's ways to recur from the graveyard. So don't be shy sacking your own creatures. I know you want to sacrifice tokens, so it's the most ideal thing to do. But your own creatures, no problem. Sack creature, you could Demonic Tutor, which is, you can get another Hate Bear or one of those graveyard resurrection spells. Deadly Dispute. Right here, sack a creature, draw 2 cards, make a treasure. Pretty sweet. Plumb the Forbidden is one of my favorite ones. Additional cost to cast this spell. You sacrifice 1 or more creatures. If you do, copy a spell for each creature sacrificed this way. Draw a card and you lose 1 life. So those are additional sack outlets that let you, draw a card, draw a card, draw a card, and tutor for any card. So you get card bonuses. This is the cool part. I love tokens. This is the token generators. Along with other token generators that we've seen, these are some of the repeatable token generators or big token generators. We have these 2. Omphamancer makes a token on each upkeep if you don't have a snake, which, it makes a snake, so you can sacrifice it on everybody's turn. Jadar, Ghoulcaller of Nephilia, 1 black. At the beginning of your end step, if you control no creatures with Decayed, create a Decayed. And the cool part is Decayed zombies can't block, and when they attack, they sacrifice themselves at the end of combat. So they even kill themselves to help you drain. We have this new 40k card, Company Commander, which I really like the art of. And the border is really cool too. 2 white black. When it ETBs, create a number 1/1 white soldier creature tokens equal to the number of opponents, so it creates 3 tokens. So 4 dudes in 1. Should really love it. Then when it attacks, creatures you control gain Death Touch until end of turn. So you just ram this guy, all your soldiers into the red zone, give them Death Touch. Either deal out 1 damage, or they block and kill the creature. They kill the creature, kill their own creature, trigger some goodness. You see how great this card is. We have the Giant Token Maker, Elenda, the Dusk Rose, 2 white black, Vampire Knight, legendary creature, lifelink. When another creature dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Elendra, so this benefits from sacrificing your creatures. Then when it dies, create X 1/1 white vampire creature tokens with lifelink, where X is its power, so it generates even more tokens. So you can sacrifice a bunch of stuff, put a bunch of tokens on Elendra, sacrifice Elendra, make a bunch of tokens, sacrifice all those tokens, and then do some damage. My favorite card in this deck, Abdel Adrian. Then when it ETBs, exile any number of other non-land permanents you control until this leaves the battlefield. Then create a 1/1 white soldier creature token for each permanent exiled this way. Choose a background, which we can't do in this situation. 4/4. This is one of my favorite cards because what you do is just exile a bunch of your permanents, make 1/1 white soldier, sack Abdel Adrian, put those permanents back. Those permanents all ETB if there's any ETB triggers. Then you have a bunch of soldiers. You have a bunch of permanents ETBing. You can even exile a bunch of your mana rocks tapped. They come back in untapped, so it's really cool there. We have Abhorrent Overlord, 5 black, flying. When ETBs, put a number of black harpies equal to your devotion to black. Then during your upkeep, sacrifice a creature, so natural token maker and sacrifice outlet. Bitter Blossom, at the beginning of your upkeep, make a dude. My favorite card from New Commander, Grand Crescendo. Get this card. This card's going to be worth a lot. I think it's really good. X white. It's like a modal spell. Create X 1/1 blue and white citizen creature tokens. Then creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. So you can just play white, get indestructible, or pay X white, get tons of tokens. This isn't instant, so you can make things at instant speed. I think it's really good. Martial Coup. This is a really good card for a deck. X white. Make a bunch of tokens, except for if X is 5 or more, destroy all other creatures. Remember, wiping your creatures out is not a bad thing because you can trigger everything, put them all on the stack. If you have enough aristocrats and wipe everything out, you might be able to kill everybody. So always do your math on this. And even if you don't want to kill everybody, you can just put 4 into X and just make 4 creatures. We do have some graveyard recursion in this deck. I know it's not as heavy as we like, but we do have the best card, Immortal Servitude. This is a card we want to save until we sacrifice our creature, get him back. It says X, Orzhov. Return each creature card with converted mana cost or mana value X from your graveyard to the battlefield. So our creatures are very cheap. 3 and then triple Orzhov, 6 mana value total would get most creatures back. You have Reassembling Skeleton that can just be sacked and brought back. Nether Trader, it's one of those older cards from Time Spiral. Reprinted Time Spiral Remastered. Haste Shadow. We have 2 shadow creatures in this deck with Dolphin Voidwalker. It's kind of cool. When another creature is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, you may pay black. If you do, return another trader to the battlefield. So that's pretty neat. Malekith Rebirth, Agadeem's Awakening, Black Mold, double face cards, get your things back. Savine's Reclamation. It's really neat here. Pay 2 and a white, get something with 3 mana value less back. Or 4 and a white and get 2 things back. And the way to get more value is to draw more cards. And we want to draw cards based on the things that we're already doing. It's S%, no, come on. That's a good way to draw cards. These three are about when you sack a creature or a creature dies, draw a card. Skull Clamp, you have a bunch of small tokens, clamp them, draw a card. Don't be afraid to clamp your small aristocrats or your commander or somebody and then put them into red zone, let them die, draw a card. We have these cards we've seen already. I love double duty cards. Sack creature, draw a card. One of my favorite black card draw spell, Siphon Mine. Each other player discards a card. You draw a card for each card discard this way. Usually they draw each discard one card. You draw 3 cards, 6 for 1. Then we have this Protection Racket. I think this is a black card that I've just finally warmed up to. I thought it wasn't that great, but this card's amazing. 2 and a black. At the beginning of your upkeep, repeat the following process for each opponent in turn order. Reveal the top card of your library. That player may play life equal to the card's mana value. If they do, exile the card. Otherwise, put it in your hand. So, you reveal the top card. It says a black market connection. They can pay 3 life, which they probably will. And then it stays in exile. Or, if they don't want to pay 3 life, then you put it in your hand. It's really good. And the reason why it's really good is this deck is not about taking giant chunks of life away. This deck is about taking small chunks of life away until the opponent realizes, hey, I'm at 10, I'm at 5, I'm at single digits, and I can't pay life for this, I can't pay life for Athreos, I'm going to die if they sacrifice all the creatures. So they have to understand that this card at first costs life, which is what we want to do, is slowly drain life. And an average of 3 something mana value per card, we're dealing, 9 damage per round. Sometimes when they flip the land, they don't pay anything, but it is what it is. This deck is actually lower than 3 mana value. It's about like 2 something probably. But even at 2 something, 6 damage per round is a great rate. That's exactly what we want to be doing for 3 mana. Black Market Connection. This is almost an ultra staple right there. 2 and a black. At the beginning of your post-combat main phase, so after you draw, you may pay 1 life, get a treasure. Pay 2 life, draw a card, pay 3 life, make a 3/2, or pay all 6 life, or any combination, and make a dude, which allows you to sacrifice it to draw more cards. It's great. This deck is very synergistic. High synergy-based deck. We have the removal suite, and we have Ravenous Chupacabra. I love removal on creatures, but we do have very strong removal that sometimes doesn't happen to be on creatures. Swords of Plowshares, Dam, which gives you a Wrath of God effect. Now, again, killing your creatures is not a bad thing in this deck. Anguish on Making, Generous Gift, you can get rid of permanents. Toxic Deluge, another board wipe with Onto Inversion. Onto Inversion wipes off everything and ends the land. And then we have Graveyard Removal too. Graveyard Hate. We are playing Orzhov, but not mean non-green, so we have Ramp, Mana Rocks. We have some creatures that we can sack for Ramp. Or not sack, well, you can sack the Pious Plunderer. You sack Solemn Simulacrum, Ramp, draw a card, stuff like that. Pious Plunderer, the way it ramps is when another creature you control dies, create a treasure. So I consider that a little ramp. Helps you're sacking a bunch of tokens, getting a bunch of treasures, helping you ramp. There's Smothering Tithe, which is exactly what it does. It's not very synergistic with the deck, but this deck does get mana hungry once it has its draw engines going on board, even though it has a low mana value, mana curve. A lot of things can happen because you're drawing a lot of cards, you're sacrificing a lot of permanents, doing a lot of triggers. So Smothering Tithe really helps out there. Land package, your usual land package, we have the Orzhov lands reprinted Dominaria United with Elias il-Kor, Caves of Kolios. I like these lands because they come untapped, first couple turns of the game. Well, these lands, except for Shattered Sanctum, I just love that land in general. I love the art. But these lands come and play untapped, so you play your commander on turn 2. This is the situation where you do want to play your commander early because it accrues slow value, because when creatures ETB, you do something. Then we have a lot of black utility lands, the Channel Land, Castle Lochthwain to draw cards, Cabal Coffers, Orborg combo. We have Bajuka Bog, Graveyard Hate. We have these two, Phyrexian Tower, High Market, sack creatures. More creature sacrifice, even in lands. Then we have Token Maker, Castle Ardenvale, and Iganjo. The utility lands are other lands, including High Market, colorless lands, Vesuva, Thesmy Sage, Copy Things, Westvale Abbey, makes creatures, sacks creatures, makes Ormondal, Profane Prince, which I love, right there. Flying Lifelink, Indestructible Haste. It's a really good way to end the game, kill the opponent. Feel the Dead. makes tokens, gives lifelink. The Vault of Archangel, gives lifelink and lifelink and Death Touch. That's what I meant. Urza Saga is really cool. It's in 2 route Soul Ring, 2 route Skull Clamp, and it can make little tokens. So I love token making lands because you can't counter them. Then lastly, we have our lands, our basic lands, Snow Carver lands. Of course, Snow Carver lands as a concession to Field of the Dead. We are playing 2-color deck. We want to maximize our Field of the Dead value there. This is the deck so far. If you enjoy the deck tech, give the video a thumbs up, smash the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be alerted for new videos in the future. I have the deck list in the description below, and I'm going to shuffle this deck up, do some gold fishing for you all to see how amazing this deck is. So we're going to shuffle this deck up, and we'll be right back. All right, we are back. Turn 1, Elas, il-Kor, Sadistic, Pilgrim, or Aristocrats Commander. That's right. Now, again, we want to play Elas il-Kor in turn 2. However, there's some circumstances that might prevent that. We'll see. Also, remember your triggers. Go slow. I know some people will get upset when you go slow, but you got to go slow because there's tons of triggers. They happen all different ways. All right, let's see here. We have 1 land, 2 land, Fellwar Stone. Okay. It's not bad. Let's keep this. Turn 1, draw a card. Shattered Sanctum. Okay, we could play this, but that comes into play on tap turn 3, so let's just play Onto Inversion. We won't play Skull Clamp this turn because we rather play this ETB tap land. Okay, we do that. We pass. Now, Blood Artist. We have Takenuma that does cast Elas il-Kor, but if we play Fellwar Stone, play a land, play Blood Artist and Elas il-Kor turn 3, that's not too bad. So let's just invest in the future. Fellwar Stone, tap here, and Skull Clamp. Now, the reason I'm willing to make this play instead of playing Elas il-Kor on turn 2 is that we have a mana rock and we have a reason to use the mana rock right away on Fellwar Stone. So we're using all our mana, which is great. Okay, turn 3. And then we have a turn 3 play of playing our Shattered Sanctum as we wanted to. And then we're going to play Order Matters, Elas il-Kor. And then we're going to play Blood Artist. And because we did that, another creature enters the battlefield, gain 1 life. So that's sweet. We gain 1 life. And then we pass. So our play is really good. We got the ramp. Elas il-Kor is still on the battlefield turn 3. We go to turn 4. Right there. Morbid Opportunist. Okay. We play our lands. We have 4 lands here. So what we do is we have 5 mana. We need to set up for success in the future. So we'll play like Ophimancer because we want the 1/1 in our turn, just in case we don't draw a land. We can clamp it and draw cards. So we gain 1 life from the Ophimancer coming into play. And let me just stack these little guys. This is Blood Artist. When things die, target player lose a life. So we'll pass around. We'll tap actually to play Ophimancer. And you know what? We will equip Skull Clamp to Ophimancer just in case. Because why not? Because we can. We'll 1 turn around. We'll make a snake token right there. We'll gain a life here. Okay. Now we are on to turn 5. That was not the greatest turn 4, but some turns are greater than others. We'll do turn 5, draw a card. Command Tower, okay, that's sweet. We weren't expecting a land, that's why we set ourselves up for success by doing the Skull Clamp thing, but we can still set ourselves up for success by playing a land. Now I have 6 mana. We could play the Morbid Opportunist here to draw cards, or Marauding Blight Priest to do some pain. We can do both and then clamp later. So I think we're going to set ourselves up for success again and not Skull Clamp. Right now we'll play Marauding Blight Priest first. Again, order matters in this situation. We don't have a lot of cards, but we have Skull Clamp as a way to get cards. So we're going to go slow. Play this first, right? Play Morbid Opportunist. That will trigger Elas to gain 1 life, but we drain 1 from each opponent. So I'm going to keep on this counter how many life we take from each opponent, so we know we've taken 1 life. Yes. Nothing's died. Things enter the battlefield. Okay, turn 6. So this is where the heat begins. Turn 6. We're going to draw our card. Welsh Rider. We have sack outlets. Sweet. Okay, that's really good. Because we could just play this guy and then make these disappear and come back. Or we can skull clamp something. So now that we have a sack outlet here, we're going to wait to turn 7 for this guy. Okay. So we have a sack outlet, which is super good. And if anything died on a opponent's turn, like Snake or anything, you can draw a card from more opportunists and do some damage. So let's say that they've done nothing because we're goldfishing. We'll play our Welsh Rider right here. This ETBs, you gain 1 life, you drain. So we drain again. Another point. See how slow this is? 2 points. All right. Okay, first order of business, we did miss a land drop. So we're going to tap our Fellwar Stone to clamp our Snake right here. So it's going to clamp our Snake. It's going to fall off and die, of course. The clamp. So a lot of things happened here. Clamp our Snake. It's dead. We're going to do the draw triggers first from the clamp and the more opportunists. So now we are drawn back up. Sweet. This is our hand now. Drawn up. So this is why I say, go slow with your triggers. Oh, I forgot Welsh Rider came in with a goat. That's why I'm saying go slow with the triggers. I forgot. Goat came into play. Goat came into play and then triggered another damage. So boom. Sweet. Okay. Now a snake died. This doesn't say non-token, right? Another creature dies. Deal 1 life. So deal life with that. And this, when another creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life. Boom. We're just gonna pretend Blood Artist deals this is damage to one single opponent. The opponent that takes the Blood Artist damage. So drew cards. We did our thing. So let's see what else can we do. We could play our land. Here we have lots of white lands, so we'll play our black snow-covered land. We could play Bastion of Remembrance, do more draining, which we will do, actually. Or we just clamp the goat, but that's okay. We're just gonna play Bastion of Remembrance. Goes in here. It makes a dude. And you know what that means when it makes a dude? It makes a dude. Everybody loses a life when it makes a dude. And we're like, okay, we're cool. And this is when a creature you control dies. Each opponent loses 1 life. You gain 1 life. Okay. So this is a copy of this. So let's just gonna put this here. They're all like drain effects right there. What we could do is pass a turn. Now each person's turn, I get one of these, right? 3 times, right? 1, 2, 3, because I'll sack it each time. Each time I sack it, I deal 1, 2, 3, 3 times. So I'll do 9 damage on the way out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right, because each time I sack this, it deals 9 damage. Boom. So at the beginning of my turn, make a dude, deal another damage. Boom. So I'm dealing lots of damage here. Okay, I'll untap. This is the last turn we're taking, turn 7. So we're going to untap, draw a card, Midnight Reaper. And then more opportunists, again, triggers. For each turn, you draw 3 cards during those turns with Morbid Opportunist. There, then draw a card during your turn. Because Morbid Opportunist doesn't say your turn, just triggers once per turn. So now we're back up to 6 cards. We play our land. We have Gary right there. All right, see what kind of mean stuff that we could do. Hypothetically, I think we have every 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 mana. We could play Abdul Adrian or Grey Merchant. I think Grey Merchant would only do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This will do a lot more. So the first thing we want to do is we just want to sack these guys. Just screw it. Sack these guys at Welsh Rider. I haven't been scrying. It doesn't really matter because I'm just going to kill everybody really quick. These guys, again, 3 times 3 is 9. So we just did 9 damage. We draw a card for Morbid Opportunist for that 1 turn. 9 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So we did 9 damage. That's 10, 20, almost 30. You fill this up, you kill somebody. So we'll do Abdul Adrian. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll tap these 5 here. We're gonna keep Woe Strider around because that is our sack outlet. We don't have another sack outlet, right? We could. Yeah, we don't have another sack outlet. I guess we could exile it with our Anguish Unmake and get another sack outlet. You know what? Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Or no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, actually before then we're just gonna play Midnight Reaper. Deal 1 damage here. Play Midnight Reaper. Now then we're gonna play Abdul Adrian right here. So we're gonna exile our Felwar Stone here. Play this. Keep this guy here. We're just gonna exile all these things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so we're gonna exile 8 thingamabobbers under Abdul Adrian. We're gonna make 8 soldier tokens here. Let's see, 6, 8 soldier tokens. Okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna just say, hey, we'll sacrifice this to Woe Strider in the bin. Tap all this. This comes into play untapped actually, so it means we could clamp something. This comes into play. This comes into play. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 things come into play. This comes with a soldier. One of these sacrifice soldiers here. So I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 things come into play. It doesn't count itself. Dealing 6 damage. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Dealing 6 damage to everything. What I'll do is I'll just clamp a soldier right there. Draw 2 cards, 3 cards, because More of Opportunities is a new creature, so it doesn't count itself anymore. Draw some more cards. The soldier deals 3 damage because of this one, and Blood Artist. 1, 2, 3. All right, so then we sacrifice our 8 soldiers here. We'll do 8 times 3, 24. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. We are way past 40. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. 60 damage. We could do more by sacrificing, more of an opportunist to here. Do another 3. 1, 2, 3. We'll draw a card, Midnight Reaper. Zulaport Cutthroat. Gotta know how many mana for that. Gotta be insane. Start sacrifice things that aren't necessary. Sacrifice the Midnight Reaper. The Ophiomancer itself. Right there. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Draw a card, Midnight Reaper. Plunder Forbidden. Doesn't matter. So now we just sacrifice Midnight Reaper itself. 1, 2, 3. Then you can keep going on and just fill out this pad and just kill everybody. So that's essentially how this deck works. It started off slow, but man, when it ended with a kapow. You're doing. I think you probably could fill this up and do a total 80 damage by the end of this. And some of these are damage to each opponent, so it's 3 damage. I just didn't count that. I just counted how much one opponent would take. So you could kill. You probably won by this point. Your hand is completely stacked. This is how the deck works. Starts off very slow and then bam, kills out of nowhere. Math is very hard with this deck because somebody might not know they're dead, so they might not go after you. You might just hang back there and be quiet. After your player plays this deck for a while, they'll figure it out. Anyways, if you enjoy this deck tech, give it the video a thumbs up. Smash the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be alerted to new videos in the future. I have deck lists in the description below. I almost forgot to say what to do when I thumbs up. Thumbs up the video. And then also, don't forget to vote for either this deck or Athreos. See which one wins to be my permanent Orzhov deck. Anyways, I hope you enjoy this deck tech, and I hope you have a wonderful day.